Do you ever just want to paint without knowing where it's going? Me too. So let's ditch the rules for a bit and see what happens. Hey everyone, welcome back. A few of you have asked recently about color balance and how to create sense of harmony without overthinking. Others have mentioned wanting to see a more looser, abstract approach to painting with regards to the content I put out. And honestly, I am all about it. I mean, in my day to day life as a professional artist, I paint large, intricate murals that require a lot of attention. So when I get an opportunity like this to break away from a somewhat formulaic form of painting that is much more rigid than what I'm doing here for you today, I am all over it. With the weather being as nice as it is, I've been spending a lot of times outdoors. A lot of times I go with my family, sometimes alone, but it's mostly just R&R time, enjoying the outdoors, enjoying the fresh air. This is for all you local subscribers, Crawford Lake in Milton, Ontario. As an artist, what I'm most observant of are color relationships like those warm greens of the trees, the warm reflections in the water or the sky, and the cool shadows, of course. But sometimes you get inspired most by things that are close to you. This is directly in front of our house, some lavender bushes and some warm yellows and greens of, I'm not entirely certain what those plants are. I should probably ask my wife. So this painting really started as just a color idea, a kind of conversation between soft greens that I showed there, of course the warm yellows of some of the plants in front of our house, and that unexpected hit of lavender. I wanted to keep everything in a high key range, light and airy, just like the environment that I was exposed to, but still let the colors vibrate against each other. Let me show you how I put these initial marks down with this 2-inch putty knife that are totally free and entirely from intuition. A cornerstone for me with this type of work is always cold wax medium. It gives the paint a matte, velvety body, but more importantly, it allows for certain unexpected organic organic marks to happen. You can push, scrape, layer, and reveal in ways that feels more like sculpting really than painting. It's a medium that really invites play. So what does that mean from practical perspectives for artwork here? So firstly, the underpainting, which was, if you recall, dark gray black, which was strategically applied and cured entirely prior to me doing this painting. This painting was, by the way, all done in one go, one alla prima session. As you can see me now layering these kind of top layers, the top high key layers, over underneath layers during this painting session. So there's already in some parts of this painting 3 or 4 layers that sit on top of one another and don't necessarily degrade one another. As you can see in this side view, I've generally approached this painting from dark to light, and in between obviously there's a bunch of layers that are medium value. You see some grays and some, as I said in the beginning, lavender, darker lavender colors that I will come over with lighter colors. So therefore, during this play session that I called for this painting, you can go and experiment by layering colors on top of one another, revealing the underneath layer. As you can see, there's a whole lot of broken color in this shot in particular. You can see it. However, if you do not want that sort of layering to appear in your final piece, you can always apply more color or scrape a thicker quantity of paint to cover up and not have those broken colors show as they do in my work. Now, I like that effect, and I like the rustic organic look and feel of this type of work. It's kind of fun for me. But as I said, you can certainly take a whole lot of paint and cover up a certain section. In fact, I did that for the lavender component of this painting. Now, during this kind of abstract experimentation, you can absolutely stop with just the color relationships and let those organic shapes and textures speak for themselves. That usually alone can be a finished piece and quite intriguing. In this case, for myself, I don't know why, but I felt like pulling out some subtle form, something quiet and familiar from this abstract sort of experimentation. So what started as chaos turned into kind of an old stone wall. To the left, you kind of see the beginning stages of that, and of course to the right with the finished painting, you can see what it's sort of finished up as. It has sort of hints of pots around it, and it wasn't planned. It was just something that revealed itself as I kept working, and I think you'll find that as well yourself if you are so inclined. Like myself, I come from a representational background. You work abstractly, and a lot of times you leave things as that, but more often than not, forms start to appear, trees, faces, animals of sorts, whatever. Like, for example, right there, and I apologize for a poor camera angle, I wasn't aware of this. I'm putting in a hint of yellow in that lavender. I want that relationship that I talked about initially with lavender and yellow to be front and center, even though it's to the right. There's that power struggle, I guess, between them. They pair really beautifully, and I wanted them central there. Let's see what happens as I start to pull a bit of that structure out of all this chaos. The key is to just do enough to hint at the form without losing the energy. As I've put in the final touches indicating that stone wall, just wanted to remind you that you don't need a plan or rules to make something meaningful. Abstract painting is about trust, intuition, and letting the work surprise you. If you enjoyed this video, I will link one at the end of this that I don't necessarily think I even pulled anything representational out of it. I kept everything for the most part abstract. I want to thank you for supporting the channel. Let's see what these marks look up close like. A lot of details or perceived details in there. So again, thank you for watching and keep experimenting. Your creativity knows way more than you think. Bye bye.